Welcome to McQueen's Body Shop, where we give you safe and effective workouts that you can do anywhere. For today's stretching class, we are going to focus on some hip openers, hip mobility, and all you need for this stretching session is your yoga mat and a foam roller. And for the purposes of this stretching session, you don't need one this long, but overall I do recommend that you have this is a 36-inch foam roller, and it is the extra firm kind. And we're gonna get into things. Hip mobility is super important, along with stability, which is why you will see in a lot of our core workouts, we focus a lot on core stability, and that in conjunction with hip mobility can really relieve a lot of things like tightness in the low back, and can just make movement through day-to-day life much more pleasant and functional. So this is a great session to do in your luteal phase, and I can't stress enough how important it is during that phase to really focus on self-care and recovery, and this is going to be a great way to do that. Now, of course, you can always add this on to one of our other workouts, like a high-intensity interval training workout if you're in your follicular phase, and get a really well-rounded workout and stretching session. So we're gonna start actually in child's pose. I kind of like to start there. Have your foam roller nearby. We're only using it for one little stretching exercise. And if you don't have a foam roller, by the way, you could use something like a pillow or a rolled up towel or sweatshirt. That will work not as well as the foam roller, but it can work in a pinch. So go ahead and take it into child's pose. Stretch those arms out in front of you. If you feel comfortable with this, try to take it to a wide child's pose so the knees are nice and wide. And we're just gonna take a couple of breaths here, just any way, just letting your natural breath flow, and a little bit of movement back and forth into those hips. And just take some time here, time for yourself. Let your nervous system calm down with the breathing. And let's take a couple of breaths together. So we're gonna inhale for 4, and then exhale for a count of 8. So it's double the exhale to the inhale. So ready, you're gonna inhale, exhale, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Inhale through the nose, exhale through the mouth, 8, 6, 4, 2, 1. Couple more, inhale, and exhale, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Just sink heavy into that mat. Inhale, exhale, 8, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly come up into a quadruped position, all fours, hands directly beneath the shoulders. You're gonna take a couple of exhales into a cat-cow. Well, an inhale too. Exhale, curve. And then you're gonna inhale, arch. Exhale, curve. Draw belly button to spine. Separate those shoulder blades. Inhale, arch. Good. Couple more. Exhale, curve. Inhale, arch. And let's do one more. Exhale, curve. And inhale, arch. And coming into neutral spine, so just that slight curve in the low back. We're gonna do something here called hip decoupling. So it's gonna feel really weird, and we're just gonna go with it. So you're gonna bring your right hand more in front of your left hand. All right, I kind of have the heel of my right hand lined up with my left middle finger, and then my right knee a little bit behind the left knee. So left hand and left knee to not move. Right is a little bit longer, right knee is a little bit longer back. You're gonna come back like you're gonna come into this really funky, weird child's pose, and then forward. So exhale back, inhale forward. And I know it feels strange, just go with it. Back and forth. Good. A few more like this. Again, connect with the breath. It doesn't so much matter for these purposes when you're exhaling or when you're inhaling, but it does matter that you are exhaling and inhaling, okay? No holding your breath. Ooh, keep going. See if you can get a little bit deeper either direction now that we're feeling a little bit more, I don't know, I don't want to say comfortable in this position because it still feels pretty weird, but maybe perhaps a little bit less awkward. Good, back and forth. Let's do one more here. And we're gonna come back onto all fours. All right, so other side, actually right here, let's take one more cat and cow, just in center, exhale, curve. Just notice if anything feels different. Inhale, arch, neutral spine. Bring your left hand a little bit in front, your left knee a little bit behind. And again, back and forth. And I will tell you, it doesn't start feeling natural, but as we go through this, it does feel a little bit, you can get a little bit more range as your body gets a little bit more warm in this very odd position. Good, keep going back and forth. Keep pulling the shoulders down out of the ears. Good, slow it down if you need to, speed it up if you need to. This is just kind of about, feeling what feels good, albeit unnatural. little weird here. Good, let's go for another 4 and 3. Last 2. Last 1. Back onto all fours in alignment, and then doing one more cat and cow here. Exhale, curve. And inhale, arch. Neutral spine, go ahead and sit on down. We are going to take it onto our backs. We're gonna do a lying down figure 4 stretch. Remember that we want to not put too much pressure on our abdominals, on this core canister here. So this is why we log roll. So rolling onto our side, using our upper body strength, and then onto our back rather than just lying straight on back. Let me just do a quick little adjustment here of my mic. And go ahead and bring one leg ankle over knee. Now, if this is enough for you, which it could be, go ahead and stay right here. Some days are different and different sides of our bodies are different. So you might be here on one side and you might be coming into more of a full figure 4 on the other side, which we're going to do now. Again, if you need to, you're gonna stay right here. Otherwise, reach on through, lift this leg, reach through and reach behind on your hamstrings. And I'm gonna time us, you guys, because we wanna stay even and we really want to get enough of a good stretch here to make a difference. I've said before, and I'll say it again, that we go through life, kind of jacking our bodies up in different ways. And it took a long time to do that. So it can take a long time to get, stretched and recovered as well. So patience, which for those of you that know me know it's a little bit of a challenge. Patience is, something important in recovery. If you want a little bit extra of a stretch, you can actually reach around your shin. You can use this elbow here that's near the knee to kind of push a little bit out on that knee. Close your eyes here, take a couple deep breaths. Again, I'm keeping an eye on our time, making sure we're getting enough of a stretch, and also since we're doing one side and then the other, that we're even here. Flexing this top foot. One more deep breath, inhale. And exhale, slowly release, slowly switch legs. Now we're gonna start Again, with the feet on the ground, foot on the ground. Crossing that top leg, flexing through the foot. Give a nice, gentle little push to that top knee. And again, if you would like, you're gonna come into that deeper stretch, reaching behind the hamstrings and breathing. Again, eye on my time here. And use your breath, really focus that breathing, particularly the exhale, into any area, probably your hip and glutes, that feels particularly tight. So using your imagination there to put that breath in its place. And again, if you would like, you can reach to your shin and just notice, no judgment, what if one side is a little tighter than the other. That can change over time, or maybe you just have, a particularly tight side. This is my unkind side, my right side. It's always way tighter than the left. We're gonna hold another 20 seconds, take a couple more deep breaths. Again, directing that breath to any, now this shouldn't be pain, but discomfort. Okay, discomfort instead of pain is what I want you to get maybe comfortable with. And go ahead and release. Let's hug those knees into the chest. Roll your feet around to the right a couple of times and around to the left. Let's do a happy baby here, reaching for the outsides of the feet. And in fact, if you prefer the insides of the feet, that's fine too. Either one. And you can do a little rock side to side if you would like. I'm a little close to my wall, so I'm gonna be careful with my rocking. We are gonna use the foam roller next. Now, you can do this without the foam roller, but the foam roller really makes a big difference. So I do recommend either using the foam roller or, like I said, a pillow or towel or something like that. We wanna elevate the hips. So you're gonna take the foam roller, you're gonna lift up your hips into a bridge, and we're putting the foam roller kind of perpendicular to our body underneath our tailbone. Okay, now from here, I want you to think about a pelvic tilt. So you're tipping the hips up like you're trying to reach your tailbone through your legs. All right, think about scooping your tailbone up to the sky. So that part is really important to maintain that pelvic tilt here. And then keeping one knee bent, go ahead and hug, and you might kind of have to play around with the foam roller to make sure you don't go slipping off of it. Hug your knee into your chest. And then from there, you can start to straighten out this leg. So start with it bent, and then you can go ahead and start sliding it straight. Now again, continue with the tuck of the tailbone. Tuck, 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 tuck. And this, if you didn't have the foam roller, this is where you'd put the pillow, put the sweatshirt, a ball, something to just elevate your hips. I don't know about you, but I find this one real intense. So we're getting that whole kind of psoas, front of the hips there. And breathe. And we're gonna hold this for a minute here. Now as you're hugging in this other knee, try to relax the shoulders. So the stretch really isn't so much in this knee, right, that you're pulling in, it's in the leg that's straight. And then again, just continue to straighten on if you can, pressing through that heel. Keep pulling this knee in, and again, are you still tucking? Tuck, 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 tuck. I would love to hear in your comments what your favorite one of these stretches is that we do. I think this one might be it, because there's such a big difference. Again, you can totally do this without the foam roller and just have your butt on the ground, which is a decent little stretch. But this little elevation just makes it so much more, it's a good bang for your buck. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, gently let go of this leg. Start to gently pull this other knee in, and then we're gonna switch. And remember that let's go ahead and stop here for a second. Think about the tilt, 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 right? Now hugging this other knee in, keeping this leg that's on the ground bent. And maybe this is where you are. Like, cool, stay right there. But then if you can, you're just gonna slowly, again, maintaining that tilt, like you're trying to point your tailbone, scooping it up to the sky, and start to straighten out this leg. Oof. And look, you can make whatever kind of noise you need to make at home. Flex both feet. Again, I'm all about, efficiency, the best bang for your buck. And so we may as well be efficient in our stretching and get as much as we can out of it. So that's where that flex of the heels is going to come in. All right, we're holding 1 minute from here. And again, breathing, inhale. Exhale, sending that breath into the front of that hip. Okay, we've got about 30 seconds. Keep breathing. And again, thinking discomfort and not pain. So we don't want to push ourselves in stretching to the point of being in pain. But can we, stretch to the point of, this isn't quite comfortable, but I'm not actually hurting myself. And 3, 2, 1. Okay, great. Slowly, again, bring that other leg in. I like to help myself here, let this leg down. You're gonna lift up your hips and get rid of the foam roller. We are done with it. And there's of course lots of things you can do with the foam roller with the hips, but that was all we're gonna do for now with those. Go ahead and hug your knees into your chest, and then we're gonna roll on over to our side, and let's take it to a child's pose again, keeping the knees nice and wide. Couple of deep breaths here. Inhale, exhale. Again, inhale and exhale. Come onto all fours, tuck your toes and take it to downward facing dog. All right, holding here, draw the shoulders down and take a breath here. Point your tailbone up to the sky. And you're gonna bring one leg up, and then we're gonna use our abdominals to pull that leg through. We're coming into a pigeon pose. If this is too much for you, first of all, you can keep this heel a little bit closer to you. All right, the further it is away, the harder it's gonna be. Second of all, if it's still too much for you, we've already done a lying down figure 4. That's the usual modification I would give, but you could do a standing figure 4 or a seated figure 4, okay, right here. Otherwise, stay in this pose. If you can, we're lining up our shin with the front of our mat, and we're not sitting over on this butt cheek, okay? I really want you to try to sit up and on top of those hips. Now, my cousin is a yoga instructor, and she taught me one of my favorite little tweaks to pigeon that makes such a huge difference. So she said, your back leg, tuck the toes. This is for you, Annette. Lift the knee and bring that knee back like half an inch and then untuck. All right, so you should get such a deeper stretch in that back hip flexor. So again, it's just to tuck the toes, lift the knee, send that knee back a little bit. And you wanna make sure that everything is in alignment here. So your leg is coming straight down out from your hip, and that your toes aren't kind of like tucked all wonky like, right? Just have them straight out there. Now you're welcome to stay here, or you're welcome to fold over. And if you're gonna fold over, I want you to sit up nice and tall first. Inhale, think about space through your vertebrae, and then exhale, start to walk those hands out. Again, just kind of respecting where you are in terms of, how low you're able to get. Use your breath. Every time you inhale, think about a little bit of extension and lengthen the spine. And then exhale, perhaps a little bit deeper in the stretch. Again, inhale and exhale. If you're able to get your head all the way to your hands, wonderful. But again, think about, instead of just bringing your head straight down where it's going to be close to your shin, think about getting that extension and elongation of the spine first. And breathe. This one is so intense for me. We have about 10 seconds here, and then we're going to slowly come up and switch to the other side. Was down, go ahead and come on up, walk those hands back up, and then you're gonna tuck that foot back in and step it back to a down dog, lifting that leg up. Bend the knee and open up the hips as if you're trying to get this heel towards the opposite armpit, but then square your shoulders off. Take one breath here. And then go ahead and straighten the leg, square the hips, lower the leg, and second side, lift that leg up, inhale. Keep the hips square, exhale, pull the knee towards your navel, and then again, this is never very graceful for me, step it on through. So again, can you get your shin parallel to the front of the mat? If not, it's all good. These are just questions for you to answer and perhaps to progress to. Again, we're sitting up tall to start. All right, I find a lot of people just kind of collapse right into that pigeon before they get the length in the spine feeling. Now, back toes again. Come onto the back toes, lift the knee, and scooch the knee back an inch, maybe half an inch. Sit up nice and tall on top of those hips. Take a quick little look back at your leg and just make sure it's going straight out and that the toes aren't sort of out to the side or internally rotated. And breathe here, a couple breaths, and then we are going to take it down if you would like. All right, take a deep inhale, lift up. Really imagine that inhale is sending breath, separating out each of your vertebrae, and then exhale, start to walk those hands forward. And again, inhale. Think about extension, exhale, a little bit deeper. We hold for 1 minute on this side. Keep sending that breath into whatever space you need to send the breath to. We have less than 30 seconds. We have one more stretch after this. I have to admit though, I decided to record this. I was being very selfish. I was like, my hips really need some stretching. So that is why I designed this for today. Also, of course, thinking about you all, because everybody needs this, truly. All right, on that next exhale, go ahead and come on up. Send that leg back, keeping that leg lifted. Again, open up the hips, bend the knee, heel towards that opposite armpit, square off the arms, the shoulders, so they should be one line. Take a breath here. I like to do little ankle circles, do whatever you want. Inhale. And exhale, straighten the leg, square the hips, lower the foot, lower the knees, and down dog again. 2 breaths in, or sorry, not down dog, child's pose. 2 breaths in child's pose. Okay, slowly rolling up. We're gonna take it, this is a very classic, if anybody's ever done any kind of physical therapy, I bet you have done this. It's a 90-90 pose. You're gonna sit in a series of 90-degree angles. So, The front leg is going to be the knee comes straight out from the hip, the heel comes straight out from the knee. Flex the foot. Back leg, we tend to kind of sit like this, most of us. You're actually gonna push it out and make sure this heel, this is not a heel, the hip comes straight out to the knee, and the knee and the ankle are lined up, okay? So from here, and it's most of us are just, again, really tight in the hips, most. So this is kind of gonna be like, it's a little bit like pigeon, but then we're gonna turn and stretch over this back leg, and things get real interesting when we get to that point. So we're not gonna be here too long because we already did a nice little pigeon stretch session, but you are welcome to come all the way down if you would like onto your forearms. Inhaling, exhaling, getting a little bit deeper. One more breath here. Flex the feet, so keep those feet nice and active. Now come on up, and I want you to turn towards, again, flexing the feet, this back knee. You're gonna sit up nice and tall, inhale, and then exhale. We're hinging over this knee. And y'all, this is all the range I have. So you go down, you do you, and go as low as you can. Again, not to the point of pain, but to the point of feeling a little discomfort. It should feel pretty awkward in that back hip, or not should, but it probably does. And breathe. Now, I'm told the more you do this, the better this gets, and the more range you can get. I mean, that's kind of true with everything, but you know, I think this says I need to do this more. Okay, coming up onto this back heel, you're gonna open up, hold here for a second. It's a little bear seat, and just lean forward and then come to the other side. So you should be pretty much in alignment to do this other side, but just double check that you are, again, this series of 90-degree angles. My youngest is learning about, is doing geometry right now, learning about angles. This would be a really nice time to teach him about this if you have kids learning the same thing. Inhale, lift up, and then exhale again. Fold over, and again, we won't stay here too long because it's a very similar to pigeon stretch. Try to relax the shoulders, couple more breaths. And then slowly come up, and again, square yourself off to this back knee. Inhale, sit up tall. Exhale, hinging over. Oh, how awkward is that? Couple more breaths here. This is making me see that, you know, I need to make a commitment to my hips and my 90-90. Little stretch. Do a little bit more of this, because dang, it is tight. Two more breaths here. Inhale. Again, lengthen, exhale. A little deeper. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Go ahead and open this leg, taking it into this little bear seat again, pressing those knees out. Inhale. And exhale, put the soles of your feet together, gently press those knees out. We're gonna take one breath together. Inhale, exhale those arms up, and let it all go. And that is your luteal hip opening stretch session. I hope you enjoyed it. Again, like I said, drop a comment, let me know which of those stretch sequences was your very favorite, and we will see you here next time.